Okay, folks, we are back, and we are going to begin the newest season of Criminal Case, Travel in Time. We have one old character joining us, and two new people. Seems we're using the old music. Death as old as time. And here we go. Matthew, good to have you on the team of time-traveling detectives. Explanations will have to wait. There's a time disturbance in ancient Egypt in Cleopatra's palace. Report to the time machine. Matthew, welcome on board. We're set to travel to Cleopatra's magnificent palace in 47 BCE, or before current era. We're ready to take off in 3, 2, 1. Whoosh! Woo! We've arrived in ancient Egypt, Matthew. Time to put on our disguise and jump into our cloaked shuttle. Oh, and remember to put a multilingual translator chip behind your ear so we can talk with locals. And now to Cleopatra's palace. Thought we were going to have different music, but that's okay. Here we go as I begin my first scene. Broken pottery. Okay. I'm not gonna get the first star. Hey, Amy Young? OMG! Well, maybe I am gonna get the first star. Penelope Sage. Let's see the other characters here. Looks like Penelope Sage, Kai Milano, Orlando Ortolaffi. So we got two characters joining us from before. I really thought Amy would be married to Russell like Kathy and Alex are married back in The Conspiracy. Matthew, how do I look in Roman armor? We have to wear this to blend in, since in 47 BCE, Egypt was Rome's protectorate. Oh wait, you're right. That's a dead body, and not just any dead body. That's Julius Caesar, Rome's most famous ruler. But he shouldn't be dead yet. The brief says that Julius Caesar was stabbed to death in the Senate of Rome in 44 BCE. That is 3 years from now. So Chief Scott was right. There is a time disturbance in ancient Egypt. Someone stabbed Caesar 3 years early. History doesn't change itself either. Either an illegal time traveler did this, or they convinced someone to commit the murder. So now, what's this commotion in my throne room? What? Oh no, Caesar! He's dead! You, Roman centurions, explain! Your Majesty, we don't know what happened. We were patrolling when we found the great Caesar here, stabbed in the back. But we will find out who did this to Caesar, Your Highness. You can count on Centurion Matthew and myself. You better make good on your promise, Romans, or else I'll feed you to the crocodiles. Of course, Your Grace, Queen, we'll need to talk to you about this murder. We can confine you later, of course. Matthew, Cleopatra believed we were Roman centurions, and better yet, she's given us permission to investigate. We're off to a good start. First, we'll discreetly get the body to our time machine, Janus. Janus, our coroner, will do the autopsy on board. Meanwhile, we'll do some old-fashioned detective work, like piecing that broken pottery back together. Once we find the killer, we'll be able to fix the timeline and secure our present. Let's find out who stabbed Julius Caesar. How exciting. And I need to get stars, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, now I have 6 stars. Let's talk to Cleopatra. Okay, Matthew, we gotta be careful when talking to incredibly powerful historical figures like Cleopatra. She mustn't suspect we're not Romans. The good thing is Cleopatra probably wants to find Caesar's killer. You see, the Queen of Egypt and the Roman conqueror were lovers. Alright, let's keep this short and try not to anger her. Queens are fickle. This is outrageous, completely barbaric. Caesar's murder is a personal attack, and I swear by Osiris that it won't go unpunished. That is why we're here. We want to find Caesar's killer as much as you do, Your Highness. Did you notice anything unusual in the throne room today? No! The assassin must have snuck into my palace unnoticed, just when my most trusted guard decided to go to the market, leaving me defenseless. There's a market nearby, Divine Highness? You've never been to the market before, Centurion. It is just outside the palace. That is where Caesar's assassin must have escaped, and they may very well come back and kill me next. Certainly not. Centurion Matthew shall catch them first. Let us hurry to the market. We bid you farewell, Queen. So it looks like I'm known as Centurion now, instead of Senior Trooper. Okay. I still do not see the turtle. Oh, there. Black bug around here. But good to see that we have Amy Young back with us. Matthew, Cleopatra was right. The only way in and out of her palace is through this market. Do you see anything the killer might have left behind? Good thinking. That basket was clearly knocked over, maybe by our fleeing killer. Let's have a look through it. And I'd be curious to see what the deal with this portrait of Cleopatra is. Think you can retrieve the rest of it? After this belt... It could belong to someone from the palace. You're right. We've got a handy portable database of ancient artifacts. Let's have a discreet look and see if we can find a match for the belt. Hold on, folks. Okay, now I got myself the extra star. Let's take care of the broken pottery first. There we go. Those broken pieces were an amphora, Matthew. Romans used them to store wine. You may wonder how I know this, but I learned a lot while working here at the Temporal Investigation Management and Exploration Agency. Oh darn, nobody's yet explained who we are, have we? Time is an international agency which regulates time travel. Some people get time machine parts on the black market and go off playing havoc with history, and we can't have that. The world might implode. Anyway, where was I? To work here. I had to learn some Latin. I can read the text on the vase. It says, a gift for Caesar, so this was for our victim. We need to figure out who gave Caesar this amphora. Can you decipher the half-faded name below the inscription, Matthew? Brutus. Ah, I missed the 9, but that's alright. Matthew, the name of the person who gave this amphora to Caesar is Brutus. Wait, Brutus is the one who was supposed to kill Caesar, with the help of the Roman senators 3 years from now. Brutus and Caesar were close, and sometimes traveled to Egypt together, and this gift suggests Brutus might be here now. What if someone from a different time convinced Brutus to kill Caesar? That's the only way to explain why he'd stab him 3 years early. Matthew, we must find out if Brutus is Caesar's assassin, while making him believe we're his fellow Roman soldiers. Let's go. Almost feels like a Cartoon Network version of Time Squad in a way. Ave, Militz. Ave, Brutus. Is it true? Has Grace Caesar, our legate, been murdered? I'm afraid so. We found his body in the throne room. We must return to Rome at once. We should never have lingered for this long. But that Cleopatra, she has Caesar ensnared. Well, surely we should first find whoever dared kill this great man. Do you mind telling us where you were during the murder? What are you implying? That I'm the one who killed Caesar? I would never lay a hand on him. Well, we have heard rumors about how some people aren't too happy with him making himself dictator. I'd stop there if I were you, unless you wish to be arrested for treason. Now get out of my sight. Phew, we better stay clear of Brutus, Matthew. He seems very loyal to Caesar, so much that he accused us of treason. Time will tell if his loyalty is sincere or not. Let's keep moving forward, Matthew. Let's see if I can get one more. We're gonna have to call it a night pretty soon. Matthew, there was a bloody cloth among those urns. How much do you want to bet the killer dropped it in there while running away? Ancient Egyptians didn't know about DNA, but we do. Theo, our lab chief, will tell us if this is Caesar's blood on the cloth. get the symbol out of the way. Then I'm gonna call it. Then I'm gonna call it off. It's getting too late. Royal Guard insignia. Matthew, according to our database, this symbol refers to Cleopatra's elite guard. So this probably fell from... That's my belt! Get your paws off it! And you are? I'm the Queen's most trusted guard, which makes me the most honored. She is the greatest sovereign of all. Good to hear. Please step this way. We need to talk to you. Calls himself Pamu. But as I said, I'm going to have to end this early. So I'll catch you guys later. I'll have more stars collected by then. Well, I did say that I wasn't going to have enough time to finish out what I started last night, so now we're going to do it here. I have collected every star since then. Romans, what do you want? I'm the Queen's most trusted guard. I must not leave her alone for long. You said that already. If you're meant to protect the Queen, then what are you doing outside the palace? I just needed to fetch some spices from the market. My Queen mentioned wanting some sage the other day, and I thought I'd surprise her. Interesting that Caesar's murder happened just as you stepped out. What? Caesar murdered? Yes, and we are tasked with finding his killer. We have full permission to... I must stop you there. If there has been evil at the palace, then I shall return to my Queen immediately. That papyrus poster depicts Cleopatra surrounded by carpets. Why are there so many carpets? Oh, I see. It's an endorsement. Cleopatra must buy a lot of carpets from here. The merchant is right there by his stall. We'd better talk to him. Calls himself Yuya. Romans at my stall. Welcome. I'm Yuya, the most successful carpet merchant in Egypt. Don't believe me? The Queen herself buys her royal carpets from me. Says she likes how they feel on her skin, if you get my meaning. Sure. So you sell to the palace? I delivered the carpets myself. I was actually there earlier and even met Caesar. So that would be before he was murdered? What? Caesar was murdered? Centurions! I swear it wasn't me. I barely spent any time in the palace. The obelisk's shadow had barely moved between the time I went in and out. Cleopatra herself would tell you I would never hurt a fly. Alright, calm down. But don't go anywhere. We may need to talk to you again later. Bloody cloth now. Let's meet the new guy. Matthew, it's such a pleasure to meet you. You're welcome to lounge about in my lab whenever you get tired of the past. Isn't the time machine amazing? In addition to the time reactor, which actually permits time travel, it holds all of our labs. And it comes with a cloaking mechanism so locals don't see us land in a crazy futuristic contraption. Okay, if you're done geeking out, can you tell Matthew about that bloody cloth we found? The blood was your victim's, which leads me to believe that your killer used this cloth to wipe their hands after the murder. And I was able to get a valuable clue. See, I found traces of wax on the cloth and realized it's the kind of wax used to polish a harp. Which means your killer plays the instrument. Caesar's killer plays a harp? Well, they'll soon be harping on how Matthew caught them. Delighted to meet you, Matthew. I'm Janice, the coroner on the time machine. My grandkids also call me the world's coolest grandma, since I get to voyage in history. Time travel was invented 5 years ago, but I can still hardly believe it. And now you have Caesar's body on your slab, a memorable experience if there ever was one. What did the autopsy reveal? Caesar was stabbed, although only a couple of times, not 23 as taught by our history books. The stabs are quick and deep, just like he'd pricked puff pastry. And I actually found traces of food in Caesar's wounds. It was a mixture of lentils, chickpeas, and crispy onions, the ingredients found in koshari. It's a popular Egyptian dish, even in our time. No doubt your killer had used the night to eat their lunch. So the killer eats koshari. Matthew would teach this killer that you don't play with your food, or murder, or with murder. Well, Matthew, this is a pretty high-profile case for your first time as a time-traveling detective. We found Caesar stabbed in Egypt instead of Rome, and 3 years too early at that. In our history books, Brutus killed Caesar, but he took it rather badly when he hinted at his possible involvement today. Still, history doesn't change. A time traveler must have messed it up, and either killed Caesar, or convinced somebody else to do it. We must find out what happened. Even authorized time travelers aren't allowed to change the past. Meddling with time is very dangerous. I don't know if... Matthew, what's going on? Centurions, I need help. Someone's in my room. We'll find out who in Chapter 2. Don't you go anywhere. Cleopatra may not meet her doom. May or may not meet her doom, I should say. Hope you like that triple rhyme at the end. Welcome everyone. Let's start Chapter 2 of Death as Old as Time. This is what we left off on. I was going to my room, but I heard movement inside. Someone's in there. Accompany me at once. It'll be our honor to make sure your room is safe, Queen. Stay vigilant, Matthew. Staff supplies. Got it. Can't wait to meet Amy, whenever we do. But maybe it'll be here. I don't think anyone is in here, Centurion Matthew. Not anymore, but look at that chest. It's been opened and searched through. I told you someone was in here. Absolutely right. We'll look through it, Queen Cleopatra. There is no more need for concern. Leave it to us. While we're at it, how about we have a look at this locked Roman case, Matthew? We still need clues to solve Caesar's murder. We might find something. Three, four, five. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we are. Three, 1, 2, 3, 1. Matthew, there was a stone tablet in that case. This could be Caesar's, but my Latin is pretty basic. I don't know what this long text says. Let's get this tablet to our historians, Orlando and Penelope. Got it. Bracelet. Matthew, you found a bracelet in Cleopatra's bath supplies. I agree, it looks a little simple for a queen, and Cleopatra said someone had rummaged through her chest, so the bracelet could belong to the intruder. Let's retrieve the engravings to find out. Got it. Hippopotamus engravings. Alright, there were hippos engraved on that bracelet. Does that mean something, do you think? You're right, Matthew. We'd better just show it to Cleopatra. She should be able to recognize it and tell us who was snooping around her things. Your Highness, we found this bracelet amongst your beauty supplies the intruder raided. Do you recognize it? That's Nebet's bracelet. She's my favorite slave, but she shouldn't have been in my chambers at this hour. My queen, allow us to have a word with this slave of yours. We'll get the truth out of her. Do unto her as you wish, centurions. I have no strength to deal with impertinent slaves right now. High five, Matthew. This slave girl might know something about Caesar's murder. Let's find her. I got a message from a friend of mine, but I'll look at that later. Nebet, we found your bracelet in Cleopatra's bedroom. The queen doesn't seem happy that you raided her beauty supplies. Oh, but I did no such thing. By Osiris, I hope the queen will understand. Caesar's murder left Cleopatra anxious. I only went into her chambers because I wanted to run her a bath and play the harp to soothe her. So you know about Caesar's murder. Did you also perform duties for the late Roman general? I rarely spoke to Caesar. I served my queen and only her. I do hope I don't get into trouble. Well, Cleopatra is a bit unsettled right now, but I'm sure a bath will help. Run along now, Nebet. I'll collect all stars by the time the stone tablet is done. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay, we are back. Although I just realized that we only have 31 cases in this season. Matthew, lovely to meet you. I'm Orlando Ordolafi. I'll be the one to turn to whenever you have a history question or a fashion conundrum. I made those snazzy Roman disguises you're wearing. Looks very dashing, by the way. And here's my assistant, Penelope. Hi, Matthew. Nice to meet you. Penelope's more comfortable with books than she is with people, but she's the only youngling I know who comes close to impressing me. Her specialty is languages and words, so she'll do most of the translation tasks that come our way. We're ready to be dazzled. What did that Latin stone tablet say? It was an arrest warrant from Caesar. Who did Caesar want to arrest? Well, before I tell you what the tablet says, let me give you a bit of a backstory. See, Caesar was kidnapped by pirates when he was 21 years old. The pirates demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver, but Caesar found it insultingly little, so he insisted the pirates double it. The higher ransom was paid and Caesar was let go, but then he tracked the pirates down and, well, had them killed. Only one pirate escaped, and that's where the stone tablet comes into play. The arrest warrant on it is for him. Apparently, the last pirate has given up piracy and is now a carpet merchant by the name of Yuya. Yuya? He's one of our suspects. Matthew, we need to go see him. Yuya, we know the truth. You used to be a pirate, and you once kidnapped the mighty Caesar. How did you find out? You Romans really are cunning. It was Caesar who figured it out. He was about to have you arrested and killed. Is that why you murdered him? What? I didn't even know Caesar had recognized me, else I'd have run for the hills. Centurion Matthew, please. I'm an honest man now. I have the palace's trust. I even share Koshari with the Queen's favorite guard. Do I really deserve to be executed for something I did so many years ago? Maybe not, but Caesar didn't deserve to die either. You better stay put, Yuya. Alright, Matthew, what shall we do now? I agree, searching the throne room for more clues seems like a good idea. Okay, here we go. Oh. Oh. No way in hell am I gonna get that first star. Matthew, this delicate, ornate fabric is just what a leader would wear, and it has the Roman colors. This must be Caesar's sash. It must have fallen off during the murder, but what's this green stuff on it? Let's vacuum a sample. And putting those broken pieces back together will be child's play for you, Matthew. Personally, I'm hoping that we get to return to Pacific Bay and see what else has happened since then, since Frank's death. Herbs. Let's send the sample you got from Caesar's sash to Theo, Matthew. Hours. Now the broken metal. Matthew, the broken pieces were, in fact, a shield. You're right. That's Cleopatra's most trusted guard symbol. What's this broken shield doing on our crime scene? Did he fight our victim? Let's go ask Pamu. Paimon, we found your shield. Pretty reckless to have left it in the throne room like that. How did it break in the first place? Caesar broke it. That fool lost his temper and wanted a fight. Really? Why would he want that? Because he was jealous of me. He said I was too close to my queen, all because Cleopatra likes my compositions on the harp. He was also peeved that Cleopatra and I share a love for Koshari. I mean, we are both Egyptian. What did he expect? Anyway, Caesar's anger was of no consequence to me. My only concern is to serve the queen. Well, it's the queen of Egypt herself who will punish you if Centurion Matthew finds out you killed Caesar. Let the herbs run its course. See you when that's done. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the herbs. So, Theo, did you figure out what that green stuff on Caesar's sash was? Affirmative. It turned out to be a mix of medicinal herbs. I found traces of grapes and yellow ochre. But it's the presence of frankincense that caught my attention. Matthew, these herbs are meant to help with allergies, specifically cat allergies. Allergies? The ancient Egyptians already knew what they were and how to treat them. Not quite. To them, the sneezing meant the goddess Bastet needed a sacrifice of burning herbs on heated stones. Their smoke relieved the symptoms. Janus ran a simple test on Caesar's body, and it proved he didn't have any feline allergies, which means your killer is the one who's allergic to cats. Our killer is allergic to cats? Well, we won't be playing cat and mouse with them much longer. I gotta say, Matthew, this investigation is much more exciting than any ancient Egyptian history class I've ever taken. Caesar was stabbed in Cleopatra's throne room ahead of time, and we have several suspects who could be responsible for this glitch in history. We need to find out who it is and who did it and why. Only then will we be able to fix time. If our timeline changes too much, you and I might not even exist anymore. Let's see. Apparently the Egyptian guard's commitment to Cleopatra made Caesar jealous. They had a spat today, but did it lead to bloodshed? And the rug merchant turned out to be a former pirate with an arrest warrant on his head. Did he kill Caesar to save himself from his revenge? Matthew, this is definitely getting interesting. You there! Brutus, what's going on? Silence! You don't ask the questions. I know you're not who you say you are. And we'll see you guys for Chapter 3. Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 3 of Death as Old as Time. This is what we last left off on. I'll be asking the questions. I know you're liars and are only pretending to be Roman soldiers. There is no record of your names in the Register of Militum. How is that possible? Who are you? Oh, right. Registro Milito. I know what that is. Of course our names aren't in the thing. It's because, why? Because we arrived from Rome just today. But before we could join our legion, Cleopatra ordered us to solve Caesar's murder. Being tasked with finding Caesar's assassin is the highest honor for a Roman centurion, don't you agree? Right. Absolutely. I want justice for Caesar more than anyone. Very well then, soldiers, as you were. Phew, that was close. But now we really have to find Caesar's murderer, or we'll face not only Cleopatra's crocodiles, but also Brutus' sword. Not to mention the danger of being found out. Matthew, we better get a move on and have another peek at Cleopatra's bedroom. course, it's the first of only 31 cases. As I have found out. This might be the least amount of cases ever. Cane Papyrus Scroll. Still got the first star anyway. That's a nice cane. And you're right, Matthew. It has a symbol of the Roman Empire on it. Such an opulent thing could only have been Caesar's. There's some green goo on the head. Taking a sample will tell us who handled it. And that's clearly meant to be Caesar on this papyrus. But the writing's faded. We better retrieve that text. What about this broken metal? Let's put it back together. We've got no time to lose, Matthew. Who knows what has already been changed in our present? Alright, let's head back to the time machine and put the sample you got from Caesar's cane under the microscope, Matthew. Got him. Rosemary oil. Apparently the substance you got from Caesar's cane was rosemary oil, Matthew. But I have no idea what this means. Matthew, I see your investigation has presented you with a mystery, a lovely, fragrant one. I heard you mention rosemary oil. That's an excellent inhalant. Ancient Egyptian slaves would oil themselves up with this so that they'd smell nice. Slaves, you say? Well, we know one, Nebbit. But how did she get hold of Caesar's cane? Would he really just leave it lying about? I agree, Matthew. We should ask Nebbit. Nebbit, can you explain why we found your rosemary oil on Caesar's cane? Did you steal it? What? No, Centurion Matthew. I will never do such a thing. But the truth is just as shameful. Caesar had to use it to beat me. I fed him a fig too slowly, you see. He snapped and gave me 100 cane strokes. What? 100 cane strokes for a fig? Why, of course. It was all my fault. Actually, I better get back to work now, Centurion Matthew. Matthew, a 100 cane strokes is harsh. Can Nebbit really think she deserved it? What if she sought revenge on Caesar? You're right. Time is ticking and we still have a lot of questions to answer before someone else gets suspicious of us. Let's move on. Roman pendant, Matthew. This is clearly Caesar's portrait. And you're right, this other chap looks like Brutus. There's an inscription, true father, true son. Maybe my Latin is wrong. As far as we know, Brutus and Caesar weren't related. Matthew, I'm not super keen on another encounter with Brutus, but we must ask him about this. Let's get it over with quickly. Centurion Matthew, I wish your duties didn't require you to interrupt my meal. My koshari could get cold. We won't take long, Brutus. Just a quick word about this pendant. We are curious. Hey, that's my pendant. It's a personal keepsake. Give it back. Fine, but could you enlighten us as to the meaning of the engraving? It is as it says. Caesar was my father. What? Caesar was your father? But history tells us... we didn't know. Caesar refused to acknowledge me, though I did everything to be worthy. I'm a valiant soldier, and I even learned to play the harp for him. I had that pendant made as a gift for him, but he broke it and laughed. He said I was as soft as a newborn baby and proved by my tears. Centurion Matthew, I never cry. I just get runny eyes when cats are about. Caesar's rejection must have been hard to hear, or hard to bear. It will be enough to make anyone lash out, really. Do you still think I could have killed him? How would that be in my best interest? Now our affiliation will never be made official. I have lost everything. Matthew, the history department back home will love learning that Brutus was Caesar's son. And on our end, this gives Brutus a motive. Now the papyrus scroll. Hieroglyphs. Great, Matthew. More writing I can't understand. We better send the documents to Penelope and see if she can translate it for us. Nine hours, and I'll see you guys when this is done. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of hieroglyphs now. Oh, Matthew, I was so terribly excited when you sent me the diary of a real queen. So that was Cleopatra's diary. That explains why Caesar was in it. Yes, I held my breath, hoping to read about Cleopatra's romance with Caesar. Unfortunately, this diary is mostly about reports from the Queen's advisors. I can't give you the perfect translation, but it was clear the advisors told Cleopatra that Caesar had plans to take her kingdom. So Cleopatra recorded it in her diary, and even drew a figure of Caesar holding hands with Set, the Egyptian god of war and discord. Caesar was going to betray Cleopatra and steal her throne? We better talk to the Queen, Matthew. Queen Cleopatra, it transpired that Caesar planned on betraying you and taking your kingdom. What do you have to say about that? You have some nerve, Centurion Matthew, interrupting my harp practice just to ask me about this silly rumor? So you believe it was just gossip? Of course! I knew Caesar well. He would have never betrayed me. Well, he obviously can't anymore, what with him being dead and all. I am the Queen of Egypt, and your duty is to find Caesar's assassin, not to accuse him of betrayal. And now leave me. I feel a sneezing fit coming on. My elite guard suffers from the same affliction. An intolerance of cats, a bad omen for us all. Matthew, Romans and Egyptians alike are growing suspicious of our presence in this time, and we still haven't found Caesar's assassin. We've learned that Brutus was actually Caesar's son, which is crazy. Historians never knew about it because Caesar rejected him, leaving him angry. We also discovered that Caesar punished a slave quite harshly. And according to Cleopatra's advisors, he was planning to betray the queen. Something exterior to their time must have influenced one of them to kill Caesar in Egypt. But who or what? Matthew, the sooner we find out, the better. Only then can we focus on fixing history. We need to keep going. Great idea. We should return to the marketplace. We know the killer went there, and we can investigate without arousing suspicion. Start the market investigation. Got it. Wicker basket. Matthew, my best advice about being a time-traveling detective, no matter where and when you are, you always check the trash. And by you, I do mean you specifically. I'll be watching from a distance. And what's in this huge basket? I agree, we should open it. Matthew, we're close to catching Caesar's killer. I can almost taste the beer I'm going to crack open on our way home in the time machine. Finally. Good instincts, Matthew. There was a bloody dagger hidden in that trash. What are the chances that it's Caesar's blood? Let's send the weapon to Theo to be sure. Right? Five, 4, 5, 4. 5. 5, 4, 4, 5, 9. 9, 9, 4, 5, 1. Matthew, there's a laurel wreath in that basket you just unlocked. Caesar always wore one. It was to show that he was a strong and powerful leader. It has to be his. The killer must have hidden it here. We need to get this wreath to Theo. "15 hours. I'll see you guys when both of these are finished." Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the dagger. I mean, I was never one to follow trends, but when your hairdresser recommends a pomade, you listen, right, Astro? Boop, eep, boop, eep. Yowzer, what insightful advice. Anyway, Matthew is here. Matthew, meet Astro, my pet drone and an excellent listener. Alright, Theo. When you're done playing with your pet, can you give us the lowdown on that dagger? Is the blood on it Caesar's? Is it the murder weapon? Yes, sir. This blade is your murder weapon. There was also some sweat on the handle. It had been heavily contaminated by the trash, but I still managed to retrieve some DNA. Enough DNA to know that your killer has blue eyes. Our blue-eyed killer may play innocent, Matthew, but they can't run from the evidence. Caesar's wreath is truly exquisite, Matthew. I have to say it was nearly impossible to find anything on it that would help nab your killer. But then, Eureka! I noticed traces of minerals. I was able to extract them and analyze them independently. They turned out to be crystals of pure turquoise. Caesar wasn't wearing any turquoise stone. The killer must, and they left the traces when ripping the wreath off Caesar's head. So the killer is wearing a pure turquoise gemstone. This will help us find out who sent Caesar to an early grave. Matthew, we have enough evidence to know which one of our suspects killed Caesar 3 years too early. Confronting who did it means getting closer to fixing our timeline. Let's go arrest this killer. Nope, it's not Cleopatra. Nope, not Brutus either. It isn't Yuya. And it isn't Nebbit. Back to Cleopatra. Got it. It's Pamu. Pamu, you say your role in the palace is to protect, but Centurion Matthew knows you killed Caesar. How dare you accuse me of such an act? I am Cleopatra's most trusted guard. I would never harm her guest. And yet you did. Tell us how it happened. Did you run into Caesar after lunch in the throne room? Did you two have words? Wait, how do you know that? Did you see me? No, but we found the dagger you dropped at the marketplace after you fled the palace. Horrified at what you'd done. Confess, Pamu, you'll feel better. Damn it, how can you know all these things? You think you'd found a CCTV recording. Did you say CCTV recording? Holy cow, you're from our present. You're an illegal time traveler. What an idiot I am. I should have guessed that time would send someone. This wasn't supposed to happen. And what was supposed to happen exactly? I never intended to harm Caesar. I only wanted to beg Cleopatra. You traveled back in time because you wanted to sleep with the Queen of Egypt? Are you completely insane? I knew it was illegal, but I wanted Cleopatra, and I was making good progress wooing her. I would have succeeded if it hadn't been for that idiot. Caesar started to get jealous of me. He cornered me in the throne room and accused me of seducing his queen. I couldn't have him jeopardize my plan. I had sacrificed too much to get here. So as soon as he had his back turned, I killed him. Do you even realize the mess you've made? Killing a historical figure like Caesar 3 years early can have ripple effects throughout time. Of course I realize. I work for Time too. My real name is Benjamin Milo from the research department. I've always worshipped Cleopatra. When I got the job at Time, I had to come see her with my own eyes. So you stole a time machine from the agency and time traveled illegally, even though you knew better. And now we have to fix your mess. What are you going to do with me? I guess I'll be sent back to the present? Of course. But first we have to show you to Cleopatra so she won't alter history further by looking for Caesar's assassin for years. Queen Cleopatra, we have found Caesar's killer. Pamu, I cannot believe this. You were meant to protect your queen and kingdom. How could you have done this? My queen, Silence! Feed him to the crocodiles. Oh no, my queen, have mercy. Take him away. We shall obey your orders, queen. Senior Trooper Matthew, I must say I'm glad you're sending me back to the present instead of abandoning me to local justice. Maybe Cleopatra's crocodiles would have taught you a lesson, but you'll be judged in your own time for what you've done, Pamu. And don't try anything funny. The machine will be programmed to deliver you straight to Time's police department. They'll handle you there. Thank you, Senior Trooper Matthew. I wouldn't be so happy if I were you. Killing a historical figure and meddling with the timeline will probably get you 30 years in jail. Congratulations on closing your first time travel investigation, Matthew. You obviously haven't lost your edge. I still can't believe Time's own employee would do this. He should have known better than to exploit time travel for a personal obsession. And now we'll be cleaning up the mess he's made. I wish it was as easy as going back and preventing him from committing the murder in the first place. Jack, you know we can't do that. We don't change people's actions. We only protect history from the consequences. It's for the same reason we can't go back and prevent wars and famines. History must be preserved, or the world would fall into chaos. I know. So how are we going to put history back on track? We'll see about that in a minute. Matthew, our work in ancient Egypt is not done yet. I'll see you guys for Kingdoms of Clay 1-5. Okay, we are back. Let's start Kingdoms of Clay 1-5. There she is, Amy. Well done on your first time travel investigation, Matthew. You've caught an illegal time traveler and successfully sent him back to the present. You might be surprised to see me, as we haven't yet crossed paths in the rush. I'm team coordinator, meaning I organize our missions and report to Chief Scott about them. It seems forever since we worked together. I'll miss being your partner, but we'll still see each other lots. And I look forward to our adventures to come. So do I, Matthew. Hey, Marina! We've gone around the world. Now we're going through time. Matthew, Marina was my first criminal psychologist to join Time's Crimes Division. Her skills are very useful when dealing with delicate diplomatic matters. Sure, but now's the time for action. How are we fixing this mess up? Ah, Matthew, and this is Zara, a new recruit. She'll be your partner, like Jack. You saw Caesar's murder like a pro, Matthew, but Caesar dying too early will surely botch up our present, right? Exactly. The disturbance in the timeline must be corrected, and helping Matthew tie up the loose ends will be an excellent first mission for you, Zara. I want you both to go see Orlando. He'll know what to do to make time right. 1 second, Matthew. I just saw Cleopatra. She seems furious. and wants to talk to us. Looks like you have a lot on your plate, Matthew. You better go see Cleopatra and then talk to Orlando. Do one task at a time. We'll talk to Cleopatra first. Queen, how may we be of assistance? Centurion Matthew, you found Caesar's assassin and brought him to me. Now I need you to find someone else. Nebbit has run away. It's not like her to disobey me, but she disappeared promptly after I told her I was entombing her with Caesar. It's very strange. You wish to lock Nebbit up with Caesar in his tomb? Of course! I must show respect for the dead. Nebbit will have the honor of accompanying Caesar on his journey to the afterlife. Now go find her and bring her to me, and to prove my gratefulness, you shall be covered in riches. I'm going to be sick, Matthew. How can we help Cleopatra entomb another living human being? Caesar wasn't even meant to die in Egypt, so this slave was never meant to be entombed with him. We have to save her. You're right. First you should find Nebbit. I'll have a look around the palace and meet you back here in the throne room. There is. Nebbit's absolutely nowhere in the palace, Matthew. That sarcophagus is pretty much the only thing we haven't checked yet. It's locked. Think you can crack it? Oh no, not that one. She is in there. Nebbit? Oh my god, Matthew, she is in that sarcophagus, and she's unconscious. What if she's suffocated? Matthew, I want to help her, but we can't take Nebbit to the time machine. I can't tell you how strictly forbidden it is to allow anyone but our team on board. But you're right. We could ask Theo to come here and check on this poor girl. Matthew, Penelope and I dove into the history books to figure out how to restore the balance of time, following Julius Caesar's untimely demise. Restore the balance of time? It sounds so dramatic. Since it's no laughing matter, young lady, the domino effect from Caesar's premature murder means our president is in danger of being changed. I know. You can count on Matthew and me to put everything back on track. What do we need to do? Because of Pameus, Caesar was killed before he named Octavian as his heir, and this must happen. Octavian has to become an emperor who changes Rome. So to fix this, we need to forge Caesar's will. It'll establish Octavian as Caesar's adopted son. Penelope and Marina should be able to mimic Caesar's style, but we'll need Caesar's seal to make sure no one questions the will's authenticity. I agree, Matthew. We might find Caesar's seal stored in Cleopatra's bedroom. I'll change into my centurion uniform and meet you there. Okay. Had to take care of one message off of this. Matthew, I was itching to get out of that time machine and finally do some work. Though I'm not a fan of this cape. How can you run or fight in this garb? Right, sorry. So our mission is to find Caesar's seal to forge his will. Any promising clues? You think that's Caesar's leather pouch? Ah, there's his medallion on it. And there are wax tools sticking out of it. Let's search Caesar's writing purse, Matthew. There is a seal in that pouch, and it looks like Caesar's official one. Okay, Matthew, let's get the seal to Penelope and Marina so they can forge Caesar's will. And this is 6 hours. Okay. I'll see you guys when both of these are done later in the day. So for now, it's Matthew. See you then. Okay, we are back, and let's get the Caesar seal out of the way first. That's the more serious thing. Matthew, I have in my possession the will of the mighty Julius Caesar, or that what people will think when they read Penelope's handiwork. We made sure the will stipulates that Octavian be henceforth known as Caesar's true heir. This way history can unfold the way it was always meant to be. Sounds great. You girls have quite the talent. Honestly, Penelope did most of the work. She's got a gift with words. Oh, but Marina was invaluable in understanding the psychology of a Roman leader like Caesar. Anyway, thanks to the seal you brought us, no one will question Caesar wrote this will, but I guess you still need to get it to Rome. The problem is we can trust neither Brutus nor Cleopatra. They might tamper with the contents of the will. What we need is a trustworthy sea captain who will sail to Rome with the will and give us straight to Caesar's heir. Good thinking, Matthew. The carpet merchant used to be a pirate. He's our best lead. Let's ask him where to find a fast ship with a good captain. Centurion Matthew, I heard you found Caesar's assassin. I beg you accept this carpet in celebration. It's also a thank you for believing me. We don't need a carpet, Yuya, but we do require help. We have an important letter to Rome. It's vital it gets there as quickly as possible. We must find a trustworthy captain with a ship bound to Rome. A trustworthy one, you hear? You're in luck, my friends. My pirate's days are behind me, but I still have connections, and I know of a captain who is about to set sail for Rome. You'll find him at the harbor. He's easy to spot. He always wears a purple turban. Tell him Yuya sent you, and he'll take good care of you. Thank you. We'll send a messenger to the harbor right away. You can get back to your stall, Yuya. Alright, Matthew, this operation went perfectly. Amy asked me to give you this badge. Now let's see if we can save Nebbit. Theo, is Nebbit okay? She is breathing, right? She'll be okay. She passed out from the lack of oxygen in the sarcophagus, but her vitals look good now. What happened? I hid, but then it locked. It's okay, Nebbit, you're safe. We won't let Cleopatra bury you alive with Caesar. I am so grateful, Centurion Matthew, but how can you go against the Queen's wishes? Caesar must be honored. Well, one way to be sure to save you would be if Caesar was not buried in Egypt, and I think I know exactly how to achieve this. Matthew, we should go see Brutus. And as mentioned, there are 31 cases in here. So before you know it, this season's going to be over. Ave, Brutus. Are you heading back to Rome? Ave, Centurion Matthew. I am indeed gathering the Milites. I expect us to leave for Rome in the next fortnight. We must prepare for Caesar's wake. Well, there's a small problem with that. Cleopatra has ordered for Caesar to be entombed in Egypt, and Caesar entombed in Egypt? Ridiculous! Caesar's returning to Rome with me. I will go see Cleopatra. The mighty Caesar shall not remain here. Meanwhile, you two find some natron at the market. Caesar's body must be embalmed to avoid rotting. Replenish your energy and go. We're investigating the market. Okay. There we are. Clay pot. If Brutus manages to convince Cleopatra that Caesar should be cremated in Rome, then Nebbit will be safe. But you're right. First we must bring Brutus the natron he needs to preserve the body. Have you found anything? That clay pot might be just what we need. Let's see what's written on it. It's a natron pot. Look at that drawing, Matthew. Look at that drawing. Matthew, this is clearly the natron used to make the bomb. Let's get it to Brutus. That way he can embalm Caesar's body and take him back to Rome. And Nebbit will not be buried alive. Quintus Brutus, we have the natron needed to make the bomb. Caesar will be looking and smelling fresh, even after the long trip back to Rome. Good. And Cleopatra has reluctantly agreed that Caesar should return to Rome. She actually seems relieved, said something about keeping her favorite slave after all. Which means I won't be entombed. You saved my life, Centurion Matthew. Thank you. You would have been honored to be entombed with Caesar. Right. Well, you are most welcome, Nebbit. Good luck with your chores at the palace. As for us, Centurion Matthew, I trust I will see you on the boat to escort our legate back to Rome. Of course, we just have one more thing to do. Don't wait for us. Well, Matthew, you've had quite a successful start. It's not every day you save a slave from being entombed and make sure Caesar's legacy will endure. We'll be meeting with time technicians back at the headquarters to make sure everything has been put back on track. So I guess this means it's time to go home. It'll feel good to be back in our own time. Everyone brace yourselves. I just entered the coordinates for the time landing zone. Departure in 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. Matthew, time travel can be a bit bumpy, but it's also really thrilling. It's just like being in a roller coaster. A seriously crazy roller coaster. I must be getting old. Now that we're back, we can have a celebratory pizza. We're home. What the? It's so cold? Wait, this isn't home. Where are we? Matthew, I just checked the time machine's control panel. Something went very wrong. Our time machine landed in ancient Gaul. Ancient what? We're in ancient France in 37 BCE. Whoops. Strakes of Basenji and a Pomeranian. Two pets, but not one I like. So hold on, folks. Okay. Now let's get some sticker packs. Wish they'd include the burgers with them. That'll make it better. March 21st. That's a Tuesday. Or no, not a Tuesday, I'm sorry. That's actually another Thursday. Okay. But now, we got some sticker packs to open. All new stickers, no repeats. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to see you guys for the next case on March 21st. So I'll see you all soon as we begin Travel in Time.